Hello, everybody. Again, with me, with Veronica Seban from Business Power Academy. We are live on Facebook. And today, I'm hosting the talk show, Share Your Life Story Experience, with the main goal to inspire, motivate, and teach people, but as well to attract the ideal clients in collaboration. With coaches, mentors, public speakers, healers, therapists, and educators. Today, I have invited a beautiful guest who is gonna talk about energy. And I would like to invite our guest to introduce herself. So could you introduce yourself, please, and tell us more about you? Who are you and what are you doing?
Hi there, my name is Ashla Estrada. I am have a business in coaching, energy healing, meditation, and yoga. So my website is my name, www.ashlaestrada.com. And the business is Soul Vibe Design. So what I enjoy about coaching and healing with people is leading people towards their heart center, helping heal energy centers throughout the body, which we relate to through the knowledge of the chakras, and utilizing like my vast knowledge and experience over the past 25 years now, just really deep study in meditation, the healing arts, various religious studies, and my own life experience. So I'm happy to be here. Thank you for having me.
Thank you. So I must very, very grateful to having you here. So my talk show, and I have a question for you. Why meditating is so important for us, especially for coaches, but meditating is important for everyone because we are in the coaching industry. And the talk show is for the coaching industry. That's why I'm asking for the coaches.
Yes, I think for the coaches, absolutely, you want to be able to present your most authentic kind of space and pinpoint the best information available for your client. So meditating, I find, is really important for us so that we can quiet our mind and really connect with our intuition. So connecting with your intuition absolutely is what a lot of coaches are, drawing from, if not channeling from, when we're giving information to our clients and really able to tap in with who they are. I know everybody has their own process. I have my own, 5-step process for leading clients through a coaching process and what results we're actually looking for. But absolutely a meditation practice ongoing, and then utilizing that to just center, tap in when you're working with somebody else, so you can maintain and hold that field, that ground, that space that they're looking for. That's what's really gonna, help you succeed as well.
Wow, it's amazing what you mentioned right now. That you said that many coaches, they forget the way they are, to present themselves, because they start immediately sharing information, but they don't share a personal connection, which is of the utmost importance, especially to me, so I'm a very sensitive person, and to me, the real connection, and so it's very important, not only the real connection, but sharing as well our true life story. That's why I called the talk show, Share Your Life Story Experience, because when you share your real feelings as a human being, so it's connecting with each other. And I think that this is the essence of a collaboration, and to build up as well a relationship. This is my opinion. What do you think about how to build a relationship in generally with the people?
Yeah, absolutely. That's actually, after all of these kind of offerings that I've had, several different layers of offerings in coaching and energy healing, in yoga, in meditation, I really found that what's important is people sharing their story. So absolutely resonate with your message, your business platform 100%, and created, like, ironically or not ironically, right? The universe is always syncing up and bringing us together at just the right time and just the right way, those messages, so that we can connect with people. And that is the message right now. I was just about to speak about that. I have created a class. I worked on it through the last half of the year to help people and teach people to tell their personal healing stories. So my focus is really in line with what you're doing. I'm not, you know, an NLP specialist, but I do understand that technology, the language, and speaking yourself into existence through your personal story is something that I've learned has helped me overcome challenges that I was going through in life. And how you're speaking about it, how you're like the mechanism of your story. So we really are going to go into a class for 6 weeks on my end, and I invite you to the website and to join and to, you know, get more information about the class, about a 6-week program, a deep dive into your personal story. I'm partnering with other coaches, emotion coaches, who we're going to offer essential oil treatments and protocols to help you ease those emotions, because that's something else, you know, that really is where the connection is with other people and where we sometimes get stuck. So, you know, offering those avenues of fluidity and that one-on-one time, that personal coaching to get you through and help you understand. You know, we're coaches that have an understanding of that. That's why we're here. That's why we're showing up to offer these things to you. So if you're struggling with things that you feel may be indicators of something else going on spiritually, usually they are. And
Yes.
our intuition, you know, you'll find those coaches out there. I'm one of them. I'm here to serve, and we're here to help. So it's about reaching out, making a commitment to your transformation, your healing.
Yeah. Wow, it's amazing. So I really love to talk about healing and transformation, because I think that all of us have experienced so difficult situation in our life, and when we don't heal, I think that we cannot succeed, because we feel a lot of pain inside. And so why the healing is so important, and how can we heal?
I think, you know, those are the avenues that I think that folks out there can explore, because there are so many offerings now. I truly believe in platforms like this that are kind of straight to the point and really built around, you know, like we said, transformation and healing. Why? Because we need to evolve our humanity, period. We need to evolve our humanity in a way that we are in an understanding of emotions and resonance and vibration and energy. So many people feel like they're awakening, like they've had awakenings. They understand that they are a spiritual being in a human body. And now, how do we deal with this? How do we interact with each other on a deeper level, on a better level, on an open level of connection? Healing is about really, honestly, tapping into love. It's about tapping into pure, authentic love for one another through our own humanity. That's why, because we need to be able to open ourselves to understand each other and have compassion for one another, so that we can grow and collaborate in new ways, show up for our new earth. And we're here to teach that. And we're making steps, progress. It's about progress. So how is understanding your progress, understanding that it does take time, that if you're looking at transformation, it can take time. It's not an overnight change can happen quickly, right? You can change your job, you can change your location, you can change what you're doing or change your friends. But the growth aspect in making those changes is what you have to hold on to, and that will take time.
But
And
it's
give yourself
internal.
grace.
It's
Yeah.
internal. So your emotions, your feeling, your thoughts, even your way of thinking, that's transformation. I think this is the most hardest part for the human beings to transform, to experience truly transformation. Because for many of us, transformation can be scaring as well. You know,
Yeah, letting go.
yes, yes, exactly, because we feel so comfortable in our comfort zone, even if it's painful. And so most of the times we are so in the comfort zone, if even if we want to change something, but we don't know how to change. And I think that to leave the comfort zone, you have to look inside, so in your soul, in and to accept as well, so your mistakes, and to forgive yourself, to be kind as well to yourself. Today I have shared such topic, so my timeline, and where I'm talking so about let it go, and about to forgive as well, and to showing love and kindness. Because why do you think that kindness is so important? When we interact with each other, like when we are exchanging information, when we are collaborating, when we try to elevate each other and to grow together.
I think because one shifts away from power struggle. So if you're kind, you can understand that when you're collaborating with other people, there's always going to be someone who, 2, 3, 4 more energies that want to show up in their own power, right? So kindness helps generate collaboration, just period. And I guess in that sense, like the second aspect of that I was going to mention is, if you think of kindness like a key to unlock, understanding and communication. I think a lot of the times, we're in a group collective phase of wanting to be understood and heard, our voices to be heard, our inner voice to be heard. And we're learning how to activate that throat chakra and really speak into our truth. So there's trial and error. Like you said, forgive yourself, give yourself grace, that you're going to make mistakes, or that we change things up as you move through transformation. But I think it's like a kindness, just think of it like a key. It's going to unlock places and communication that maybe you wouldn't have gotten to have before if you had your guard up, or your mask, or your
about masks. So it's very
yeah.
interesting what you are saying, the masks. So because I always love to talk about my struggles and frustration. Why? Because I want to accept what I have done wrong, and to let it go, to move forward, to experience transformation. And my message today, so on my timeline, was exactly about here, about this topic. Because if you recognize your mistakes, if you accept them, then you can let it go. If you don't do that, you are lying towards yourself, not to someone else.
Yeah. And your focus starts to go outward on everybody else and what they're doing, instead of what you're doing and your transformation and your healing, and bringing yourself back to your own peace through acceptance, right? And through that, like you said, we'll just keep repeating it, because the message needs to be heard loud and clear, like forgiveness and letting go. So it's okay, that these old ways of thinking, of doing things, of being, it's all going to break down into the habits that you start to implement in your life. But an acceptance of like, oh, I need to change, or I want to change now, and then looking forward. But until you do that, any changes that you make, you'll fall back right into old patterns. And that's what we are. We're human. Like that's, how we trick ourselves sometimes, and make ourselves think we're making great changes. But it's doing that inner work, which so many of us have studied on, developed programs about. I really truly feel you find what's right for you, as you're out there like exploring transformation healing. Like I place that in the what you talked about, the name of my business, Soul Vibe Design. So we're talking about accessing your soul, like the truth of who you are beyond this space and time. And all that's here to do is express more of that. What's holding you from expressing more of that, of who your authenticity is? And if you're not relating that to a deep love for yourself and for others and for humankind, then there's work to be done there. We don't have a deep understanding of
I
that.
have so many questions, that are unanswered. So I'm always so curious and hungry for information. So let's talk about the when your own personality in the phase of transformation is fighting with your ego. What is happening so in this process? How did you experience this transformation process from your own point of view?
Yeah, I mean, from my own point of view, I grew up in a place that was more remote and in the country. So I always can reflect back to a lot of quiet time I had to myself and interaction with nature. And I think that actually helped my ego, because I have an intimate understanding of the natural world. And that's something I think people need to check back into, like as a tool to help soothe your ego, is spend more time in nature. I don't know how that, relates, or if anybody's ever spoken about that before, but that's an intuitive kind of, channeling that I'm getting right now, is that's what's going to soothe your ego, is actually, and that's what it is. Okay, I'm getting the message now. So that's what it is understanding that you're a part of a bigger picture, a part of the universe, and nature will tell you you're a piece of this whole big interactive world. So spending time in nature, your ego needs to be soothed in these different ways that you have to give to yourself and recognize where that is. So if you don't even have an understanding, I guess, of when your ego is there and what that is and what that's doing, it's meant to be there to protect you. This is not something that I believe, I've heard others say, completely let the ego go. It's not going to happen. Your ego will be there. It's meant to give you that part of yourself that's an awareness of danger, of protection of self, of identity, of the I am. And so just thinking of that in terms of health, like spiritual health and healthy ego. So
Guilty ego.
yeah.
It sounds very funny.
Yeah, I know, right? But when you have think of your physical body, this is how we have to relate to everything, is bring it down to the 3D, is where we're experiencing the world, is that translates into those other areas. What do we do for a healthy body? We need to drink more water, eat healthy, exercise. So relating to the ego in healthy ways, just start understanding what that is, why it's there for you. When your ego is being defensive and activating too much, it's probably an insecurity that you need to reflect on and say, why did I let my ego make me keep going down this road with someone And really, if I backed off, maybe we would have gained an understanding. So I think that's where that key comes back in of kindness, is like, you know, starting to check into like what that,
Yes,
how
I
they
think,
relate to each other. Everything is interactive too. It's no
yes.
isolation of one thing and then the other. Like,
I think instead to be defensive, that it's better to accept, even there are many people out there when they want to transform, but they don't accept to be coachable, I experienced so many times these kind of situations that, for example, you are telling them something that this should be changed. For example, an habit, yeah, because an habit could holding you back from taking action. And so just remember that our own ego is as well our biggest enemy sometimes, especially when it comes to transformation, to transform and to step out from the comfort zone. And I think it's a question of accepting, so being coachable and humble. So just,
yeah,
to listen as well to the recommendation and advice of another people, even asking as well for help. I remember myself a long time ago, about 10 years ago, and I was in the period of transformation. I'm still in a transformation process, because we always learn. So as long we live, as long we learn. And I was in that process, and I remember that I had a very, very powerful coach. He was a vice president, a global vice president. They gave me a coach. It was a woman at the beginning, but she was not so strong. But I have a very strong personality. Then I said, okay, I don't know, but I know this woman is very intelligent, but it's about the power of the inner and the power of the mind. And it should be someone that can convince me that it's like this and not another way.
right.
Yes, because it's because of the ego, because I was aware of course, about my potential,
Yes.
And when you are aware of your potential, you want to learn more.
Yes.
It's not to offend someone, but it's when you want to learn more, when you want to switch to the next level, then you need someone who has much more knowledge than you.
Yeah.
Then of course, then you can listen to the person. I think that it was so the transformation process when I started to get awareness as well about the way who I am, because this is so important, because if you don't aware of the fact who you truly are, as you mentioned it from the beginning of our talk show, you cannot transform. So you should be aware of your qualities, about your weaknesses as well, because if you don't know your weaknesses, then how can you transform? You cannot transform.
Yeah.
And as well about your strong qualities.
Yes.
And risks. So because every one of us has the time when we have to make important decisions, and to learn as well to listen to our inner. A bit, what do you think? How can we make the right decision? And how can we make the right decision? Because this is the most difficult, I think, for all the human beings.
Yeah. It is. It is. There's always that feeling of like, I could make the best decision and it's still not the right decision, right? You feel like, I don't know, if this is going to be right, or, but this is what I think is the best. But I appreciate everything that you said about, these aspects of accepting help and having a coach be able to identify your blind spots, right, and where your weaknesses are, to help you grow and to change and to move through that transformation. So I think in also what I was thinking is, in making decisions and making those changes, understanding yourself, like you mentioned, will bring that message back around, is another one of the big keys. That's like, that you need to know how you're operating. You need to be able to self-reflect and break down that. And luckily at this time period here on our planet, so many of us are taking the time to put aside for ourselves, for our self-care. And yes, detoxing from our day, decompressing from our week is one experience of unwinding, but then also, journaling, having the right questions to ask yourself, having the right guidance to lead you to the next step, having someone really be there, be present with you for your transformation, for your development, who is setting aside time. That's very valuable space to be in. So to make the most of it and to be able to understand those correct decisions that are going to ultimately come from you understanding yourself and your own intuition, you want to be able to commit to taking that time for yourself, to change the habit of just moving through life in your day and start to put away time that is committed to your own healing, and in like utilizing meditation and utilizing different energy practices that resonate with you, and not just going through a phase of I tried all these different things, but finding what's right for you to integrate into the habit patterns of your life, so that you're in a development phase, so that your transformation is continuous. Like you said, we're learning lifelong. And healing also is a journey that is going to take you through understandings and new levels of being in different spaces within yourself, and knowing what you're projecting outside of yourself. But that really comes down to understanding your personal story. It comes down to understanding what you're reflecting outside of yourself. What you're seeing in someone else is what you're seeing in yourself too. So those judgments that we want to break down and turn into compassion and understanding are going to come from understanding parts of your story that you're ignoring, that you're not connecting with, that you've wanted to forget about, that you've taken those emotions and bottled them up, and they're waiting there for you to discover them. And they don't have to be, come out in explosive, ways that make us so uncomfortable. There are ways to do that gently and to just address it in a step-by-step process and realize your own potential, like you said, or even if you do know your potential, to work at that. But I honor those people who are showing up, and being creators right now at this time, so that we are creating those spaces and that is happening.
Yes, exactly. I think that to can heal, you should make a decision, first of all, to forgive yourself, because if you don't make a decision and you don't let it go, if you don't forgive yourself, if you don't forgive as well the another person, because forgiveness is from both parts. It's like an interaction, yeah, when you an exchangement of I think of a story. And if there is happened something, then you have to forgive first of all yourself to can heal, and then the another person. And making a decision, I think that this is essential for your own transformation if you really want to heal. You know, I have been there, and for years I felt pain inside of me and I didn't know why. Everything was so beautiful around me. I always felt loneliness, you know, a lot of pain. And when I realized why, because the why is so important when you ask yourself why, it's because I wanted much more than I had. And if you learn as well to show gratitude, the first
Yes.
step,
Yes.
that's why gratitude is so beautiful to learn to show, you know, not only
Yeah.
for yourself, but as well for the people around you who surrounds you.
Yeah.
And when I became aware of the fact that I should be grateful for everything what I realized instead to wishing more and more.
Yeah.
So everything started to change inside of me. Because yes, when do we feel happy? When you are happy with yourself.
Mhm.
And so this is my own experience. How about you?
Yeah, I would agree. Um, I've had kind of a different experience in relationship, wanting more from relationships, right? Whether they were personal romantic relationships or friendships or, relationships with family members. I think the same experience applies when you realize, that you can be grateful like for what you do have and how that person is showing up and allow them to be who they are, right? Then you start to focus and work on yourself and start to realize like you have all of your needs met. You have everything you want. You're really powerful, constantly generating manifester, right? And gratitude is key. I'm surprised it took us this long to speak about it, but there's other topics there that we wanted to, bring forth as a message. And I'm so happy that that came up because absolutely, even just a simple practice, if you gain nothing else from this, live conversation, if you have a simple, consistent practice of gratitude can just change your life like that. Just your whole outlook and perspective. So that is probably the first step for so many people, this free information, free guidance, right? And just something that you may need to remind yourself of for a certain period of time, where you create a tracker on your calendar even and say, I'm going to write down this many things, 3 things a day, and build it up to 10 things a day for 28 days, then for 40 days, until it becomes, like we're talking about, a habit pattern of where you're constantly in awe and in gratitude of the beauty of life, of everything that you have that's showing up for you, of every experience that you're going through. You shift your whole way of being, and it eases and soothes a lot of pain that you're struggling with. And it's important to remember when you're looking at gratitude that you actually are really focused on your world and not allowing
Outside.
the outside impression of what you think you should have or should be doing or should be aiming to be. That's the part you have to let go, even if it's just for one day at a time. If you say, no, I can't, I still have to have goals, I still have to have dreams, I still have to have, the house, this car, or this, job, or this lover, or this thing. For one day, try to be so happy and in gratitude with everything that's already there for you. And then expand that practice, right? And then you start to see things show up that you already desired. And then you have even more appreciation when they do show up, and you can recognize when they do show up. Sometimes we're not even seeing that things are knocking on the door trying to show up for us.
I remember that my family members, because I am born very positive. I'm born very positive, but
Yes.
and at this age, because I'm already 41, I realize how blessed I am being born positive, because many people, they have to go to a deep transformation, you know, to can manifest the true self.
Yes.
And I remember that my family members, they were asking me all the time, how can you be so happy all the time and laughing all the time? What's going on with you? And then I was asking them, should be a reason for this?
Yes.
So
Right.
do you understand what I mean? Like, I was enjoying every single moment of my life. And I think that the pain that I felt was as well a part of my environment, that they were influencing me not so healthy. Because being positive, you know, and being grateful with what I had, of course, not always, because I'm striving always to the better, but in generally, I mean, so I was grateful.
Yeah.
Willing more, it's okay, you know, and taking action at the same time. But the atmosphere, so the environment is so important to can succeed and to can manifest yourself and your true potential, and being yourself as well. And what you mentioned, so let it go, so the external opinions, you know, because there are so many, and that they are influencing our life. Being so an NLP coach, you understand exactly so what I'm talking about, the family system. So let's talk a little bit about the family system, because I really love this. It's about relationships and how do they influence our behavior, and not only the behavior but our actions.
Yes. It's everything. It's our basis for how our development started. Whether, you know, your family members were your natural born family, or whether they were chosen family that you know you grew up with, it is from birth, you know, and your childhood sets that foundation of how we're interacting with each other. And there's certain norms, you know, that are kind of pervade throughout our societies and through our cultures, that we're all I wouldn't say all, I say that we're waking up to, and that we're becoming aware of. And there are those key members in families who are there to, you know, do that work, set examples, and be a leader in the family structure, of like showing that, yes, we're related, we're family, we have that love, and I'm still going to choose to be different than how, you know, these behaviors have been in the past. So I don't know, this topic is very vast and it is so important. And it does still always, this comes up in relating to your personal story. But I really think we're just touching the tip of it with bringing up that topic. So even if that's just bringing this into your awareness of what we're talking about, I see you, you know, affirming and shaking your head like, yes, that's true. Like that's the foundation of where all of these changes that, you know, maybe we're seeking, where they developed from is our family systems and structures. So, you know, it's not to always like walk around condemning everything, right? Because people can go through those phases of like, they're doing this wrong, they're doing this wrong. It is always recognizing, oh, I'm the one who wants to change. Let me focus on me. And
Yeah.
then you naturally see, and it, again, it takes time, right? It's not about addressing and trying to get your other family members on board. They're going to have to naturally attract themselves to what you're willing to step up and do for change.
And it's also about leadership, you know,
Yeah.
to learn to make decisions or to take decisions for yourself and to take a stand, not only for another people, but for yourself too, especially
Yeah.
when it comes to relationships with your family members. Because of course, everyone can having, you know, an opinion, but it depends on you. How do you interact and react so on their opinion?
Yes.
Because my coach, my NLP coach, said to me, I was talking so with him about the pain that I felt for years inside of me. You know what he said to me? You are different from them. That's what is different in your family. I was like, wow. So they are looking up to you. Do you understand this? So I was blown away because I couldn't understand why. I always have my why and so many questions out there, you know. And when I realized the fact so that I'm different, I'm a very sensitive person.
Yes.
And I don't want to offend someone, you know, like I'm polite with everyone in the family and in generally so in my environment. I'm very careful also about what I'm saying, how I'm saying that. And not all the people are like this. Like some of them without thinking, they can say boom, you know, but it comes to me so a segment of my awakening, you know, like, wow, so this is why I felt pain, because I was accepting them who they are, but they couldn't accept me the way who I am, because being positive, they thought that I'm naive.
Yeah, that's right.
But that's not the case, because if you are
Correct.
positive, it's leadership.
Yes. Yes.
It's very powerful.
It's actually like an offering, right?
Yes, it's very
To
powerful. Yeah.
step into this space. And this, if it's new to you, you know, that's the challenge for them, is just to see the light.
Exactly, because when the people, they are you know, saying to you like you are wrong, you should do that in another way, it's their own reflection and their own struggles.
Correct. So it's deep work. Not everyone is going to have the same way of being that you are, right? And that's another part of like self-acceptance, accepting your path and being really solid and confident in that path. At you know, some point in your life, like we said, you brought up earlier, is making a decision, right? And there's so many points on like a spiritual path, I guess I would say, in a journey where you have to just make a decision. And that's where, you know, a decision can lead to the change. And then the change is what helps you lead to growth. Those small changes are what's going to add up to your growth and then your transformation. So it's, you know, we have this, you know, kind of natural tendency to want to say it's like the metamorphosis of the butterfly and, you know, just going. But in all honesty, the butterfly is its own unique being, right? And you're a human. You're a human who has opportunities and choices and consciousness. You know, the butterfly doesn't have a choice but to be who it is. So you have to tap into that aspect of yourself where you feel, I don't have a choice but to be who I am. That's where you can release from the pain. So
Yes.
in that, just recognize that, again, it can take time, you know, that there will be phases where you feel like you're turning in, and then when you're blossoming or flying, you know, and then there will be other challenges that you will face. But having the tools, like an NLP coach, like a spiritual guidance coach or energy healer, those are the things that we're bringing now, that we're saying this eases our humanity and helps us live in more harmony. This is here to help evolve our situation, or ultimately our imprint, our damage that we're doing to the earth unconsciously by the way that we're living. So, you know, there's many roots to a need and a desire to develop or to be a leader and teach other people or lead other people. And those are some of mine that are really strong, is protecting our earth. And, you know, leaning into, you heard me speak about earlier, like as kind of an antidote to your ego, is to spend time in nature, that can help transform you. That's the truth. Having an understanding of the natural world, it's time to get out and connect with other beings that you're not just constantly interacting with, that's part of like a journey, and understanding the bigger picture.
Yes, I totally agree with you, because so when you are connected with the nature, you are connected as well with your inner power, with yourself, and then you can listen as well to your own voice, and even if you feel pain, there is always a reason that you feel pain. And you know, it's not about pain, but it's about leadership. It doesn't matter in what situation. If it comes so to your environment or your acquaintances, friends, or family, it's always about leadership, that you have to protect yourself emotionally and setting boundaries, because if you don't set boundaries, and that was my case, like you know, I was accepting the people, and I thought that it's normal to don't saying anything, but it's not good, because if you don't say anything, then the people think that you accept everything, and that's not okay.
Right. Yeah.
That's not okay, because if you accept anything, then you don't protect yourself, and then you feel pain.
Right.
And I think that this is a part of you know, of the healing, because if you want to heal, then you have to start to set boundaries and to speak out. So your opinion, just tell them your opinion. Why don't you why you feel like this, and why don't you accept so a relationship in a certain way, and what do you want exactly to change? You know, if you don't give an example about your own transformation, because I love to talk about my own transformation, because I have been already there. It's already in the past, you know, like so. And it's self-awareness. And then you can give as well insights, so to another people, you can transform the life of another people when you are aware of your own transformation. And it's very, very powerful. Many people out there, they don't dare to share, you know, their struggles, their transformation, but it's very, very powerful, because when you do that, it's about leadership. It means so that you have transformed when you have so the courage to share your struggles.
Yes.
How about you? about your transformation? How do you feel?
Yeah. You know, I definitely see where I've been, right, in the past, and how I struggled to make decisions, how I struggled to understand myself as a highly sensitive person, an intuitive, highly sensitive person. I struggled to have courage to create my own path, to step into a leadership role, to know that that was needed, to know that I wanted that for myself. You know, I struggled with internal pain, and like we spoke about relationships, with knowing what I wanted for myself. And it was about making that decision. Like, you know, the point comes where you can no longer remain, you know, closed. You have to expand, you have to bloom, you have to find a way. And, you know, so many times we connect to that struggle because it's relatable. Everybody goes through it. It is the human experience, these challenges, these things that come up. But I think the new point, and my new way of being, my transformation, came in being able to let that go and not identify with the struggle, that is a part of the journey and not a part of who I actually am. Is not about struggle. It is about this ease and grace and joy, and lifting others up, providing that path, stepping into the future, but being really present in the moment, right? Being really aware of taking advantage of like connections like we're having right now. It's a great experience if we start to really build on what people like you and I have, who are just, you know, so in tune with our intuition and our sensitivity, even through, you know, this way that we're connecting that is so distant. I'm in the United States right now, in the Midwest.
Yeah, it's so intensive. Huh?
Right. And we're having a, you know, really great connection, a really great conversation around what we're bringing together. And you can feel it. You can feel the energy develop even right now. Like, and that's what we leaders do. We help bring that forward, and we help you feel it too, so that you can tap in, because you have to have, you understand, like you have to have, you know, those points that are going to grab you and pull in that inspiration to make these transformations, these changes, and to step away from identifying with struggle and start identifying with abundance, and start identifying with limitlessness, and start identifying with expansiveness, and start identifying with joy, with gratitude, with happiness, and understanding that there's ebb and there's flow, right? That we will, you know, it's not always about, we want to truly talk about energy, right? There is, it's like, it's can be easy to break down at times if you think about like your light switch, turning energy on and off powers a light bulb. So we have that within ourselves, within our own bodies and our cells, and generating energy within ourselves to turn ourselves more on and radiate. And then we have to spend time when we, you know, especially highly sensitive people, you and myself, who study and are in the energy and who are here to inspire others, we need times where we turn off.
Yeah.
where we take that flow and put it away, and we rest and we rejuvenate and we spend time with ourselves and we journal, and we get ready and we wait, because we trust in the universe, we trust and we have faith, whether you call that the universe or God or source. That's something that pervades everything, but we're starting to have an intimate understanding of how that breaks down and how that actually works. And these are the unseen things. When we talk about the fifth dimension and we talk about elevating our consciousness, we're talking about breaking that down and having an awareness of what's happening in our mind state and what we're imagining and what's actually present as law, and knowing spiritual laws, and how they interact and affect our lives. All very useful, helpful information. So if you want to learn more, I'm available. I know you're available. So
yes, we can dive deeply into on this topic, but sensitivity is very important for people who are providing healing or NLP coaching, or because sensitive people, so we are feeling more intensively a specific situation, a connection with another people. We are experiencing so more. How can I express that? Even when you are in love, for example, you feel that much more intensive, so the emotions and the connection with another person. And the same when it comes to building up a relationship, so with the environment we are much more connected. But this is my own experience. How about you? How do you experience the connections with your environment, with
and with others as a highly sensitive person or an empath? Absolutely. I think that was part of my struggle, was understanding that other people are not always experiencing life the same way that I am, that I have a deep intuition that's on and that is telling me more information than other people are getting at times. And so definitely that's my personal experience is definitely experiencing mental telepathy and clairvoyance and clairaudience and messaging through dream states and lucid dreaming. So I had that experience in my life, throughout my life, that I had to learn how to just utilize and become friends with, right? And just say that this is me, this is what I need. And so that brings you back to what boundaries are, right? When you were talking about that, and I had some feeling that would come up in this conversation, because that is important for the type of work that we're doing and the type of people that we want to help develop, is an understanding of how and when and why to use boundaries. And it's not always about building a fence around you so nothing can get to you. It is about understanding what you need that helps you be your best, that helps you be your best self, and that provides a path for you. So you build your life in a way that allows you to develop, because those aspects of you that our environment, like you mentioned before, are not allowing, that you are the one that has to build that into your life now. You are the one that has to create the path for people like ourselves to continue to flourish and develop and grow, so that we have new establishments, new ways of doing business, new ways of exchange in commerce and everything, like that. We have those places for us to go, right?
Yes,
You,
to expand as well. So the way who we are and our messages and our potential,
Mhm,
because if you don't expand exponentially, you know, your potential with another
mhm,
people, then you are limiting yourself. And I think in this case, then that's why you feel pain, because you are aware of the fact that you can offer much more to the people, that you can help them out to heal, you know, that you can help them out to transform. And if you are limiting yourself, and if you don't allow yourself to be you the way you truly are, then you are gonna struggle so and feel still the pain inside of you. I think that was as well, you know, one of my struggles before many years ago, like about 15 years ago, like 12 or 15, yeah, approximately, because I wanted, but I didn't know how.
yeah,
And I wanted to change, I wanted to transform, but I didn't know how. How can I transform? Because I didn't know what tools I can use, you know, to change. First of all, my internal world, to understand myself, um, and you know how I'm functioning as a personality, because that is the most important, you know, to understand your own functionality as a human being and your own understanding level. What do you understand? How do you understand? How do you interpret so the world around you? Because being sensitive, as you mentioned it, I have the same experience like you, but most of the time, like, I'm sharing such information only with the people that they can understand me.
right. So
Yes.
as highly sensitive people, I would say, too, that one of my struggles early in life as a, just as a child and a teenager was speaking my voice was very, that was my main challenge. Something that I had to overcome throughout, my 20s and 30s is developing that ability. So it's an ability and it's a healing. And I'll tell you right now, I used mantra and used chanting to help heal that, to where I could show up and even have like a conversation like this with you, you know, way back when I would have never shown up. I would have felt like I didn't know how to explain these things. I would have felt like I didn't know how to speak my voice or my truth. I would have felt, embarrassed or ashamed or afraid, or like, that stage fright. I mean, some people experience it more than others. And it's just, like you said, probably relates to family structures, like different things of how you were born. Other people can tell you, maybe it's something past life or different
Yeah.
things that you carried forward in your genealogy of like not, speaking up or your way of being. But I will say, I think you're hearing me loud and clearly. And I think that that's something I've overcome for sure.
Yeah.
The transformation there has happened. So
Yeah, but that's amazing, because that's the most beautiful and powerful, that you have found it out the courage, you know, and the power to transform and to change. And most of all, your awareness, the fact that you became aware so of your own mistakes.
yeah,
It's not even a mistake, but it's a struggle that you were
correct.
struggling with,
Yeah. It
right?
was something that wasn't even my fault. You know what I'm saying?
Yes,
Like
exactly.
it's just not even, it's just not even your fault. Those things that you can accept and say, oh, I forgive you, because this isn't even something you were doing or knew how to do. It's just part of how your environment was. then, and how you chose to handle things when you were young, like whatever reason sparked something to keep you quiet or not speak your voice or made you afraid. There's sometimes no way to know, right? And we, like I said, could be even something past lifetime. I just throw that out there because sometimes people are searching for something or reason of why it happened, and honestly, it's not even necessary always to know. It's necessary that you address it and that you are willing to transform it if you see that it's hindering or keeping you back in your life and keeping you from moving forward. It's really just necessary that you just say that you forgive, whatever has happened, or if you can pinpoint those things that shut you down in whatever ways. Maybe it's closing down your heart space, right? Or closing down your action center. I think a lot of people close down their action centers because they feel like, we talk about that chakra, like they feel like, and they're not even aware that something has shut that down, that taking action isn't productive or doesn't give them what they need in life because we don't know the right actions to take. And this is when we talked about, how do I make the right decision? How do I know what choices to make? That relates to that chakra center and your will to move forward on something. So it could be any of those levels. And that's why, my understandings and learnings, like my studies in yoga and just multiple different scriptures, right? Studying, biblical text and studying what the Buddha taught and studying, just yogic principles and spiritual laws. And then ultimately, really resonating with just new thought and new ways of being. It's about integrating those things from the past, bringing them forward so that we do have, a well-rounded way of experiencing life.
Yes. So we are finishing. I want to thank you from the depth of my heart for being here today with us. So I'm very, very happy with our conversation. It has been really a very, very intensive and interactive talk show. That's the reason why it's called Share Your Life Story Experience, because we have shared our true life experience, like how we have changed, how we made decisions, and how we have transformed not only our mindset, but how we have learned to set boundaries. And this is the way. So how can we transform the life of another people? Thank you for having you here. I want to thank you, all the people that have been here with us this evening, because I'm living in the Netherlands and it's evening here already.
Yeah.
So, and people who wants to participate, you are welcome. And remember that recognizing your struggles, your transformations, it's not a shame. It's leadership. It means having awareness, and it means as well taking a stand for yourself and having the courage to be yourself. And this is the most powerful what can be if you really want to transform, or if you are, in the process of transformation. Thank you. Many blessings to all of you, and I see you soon in the next talk show. Take care.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Thank you too.